Okay, so today we're really diving into this whole world of, internet fame and how it can change so quickly. And we're using this YouTuber, Hedgehog Man Live, as our case study. You sent over some pretty wild stuff about him, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, the thing about Hedgehog Man Live, what makes this whole thing so interesting is he was very intentional about the persona that he built online. This wasn't some guy who just stumbled into it. It was very thought out. It was, aggressive rants. It was picking fights with other creators, like public feuds, stirring the pot, getting that attention.
Right, that whole beef thing, as the kids say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like he was going for that, shock and awe kind of content, right? But then something happened that totally, undermined this whole tough guy image that he'd created.
Yeah, and the thing is, it started with something so mundane, an Instagram story, just a regular Instagram story. Hedgehog Man Live's partner, Amy, she accidentally revealed that they have multiple panic buttons installed in their house.
Wait, panic buttons? For real?
For real?
So was he, running some kind of top secret operation from his basement that we didn't know about? What's going on?
No, not exactly. Turns out these panic buttons, they weren't for, typical home security. According to Amy, they were for Hedgehog Man Live's, anxiety. Yeah. He was terrified of retaliation from all the people he was, attacking online.
Oh, the irony. Mr. Tough Guy online, hiding behind panic buttons offline.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
And, this is where the story gets even more interesting. At first, Amy kind of downplayed the whole panic button thing.
Right.
But later, I think it was after an argument with Hedgehog Man Live, if I'm remembering correctly, she goes on her own YouTube channel and spills the tea.
So she, exposed his whole act to the world. I bet that went over well.
Oh, the internet exploded.
Yeah.
Panic Button Man was trending everywhere, memes popping up left and right, mocking him, obviously. This guy was supposed to be so tough,
Okay, and just for, anyone who might not be, terminally online trending, that's when something blows up on social media. We're talking thousands, even millions of people talking about the same thing, using those hashtags, the pound signs you see before keywords. It's how stuff goes viral. So, what kind of memes are we talking about? Give me the good stuff.
Oh, there were some creative ones out there for sure. One that I remember, it was Hedgehog Man Live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Photoshopped to look like he was a SWAT team member.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of weapons, he's surrounded by this mountain of panic buttons.
Oh, that's good.
And then it became this running joke in his live stream chats, too, Every time he'd start getting, really into it, worked up about something, people would just spam his chat with button emojis.
Oh, no, I bet. So imagine, you're Hedgehog Man Live. You've spent all this time building this persona, this image of being, totally fearless. And then suddenly everyone's making fun of you for basically being a scaredy cat. What do you even do in that situation?
You'd think he would, I don't know, try to disappear for a while, lay low. But that's not what happened at all. Instead of backing down, Hedgehog Man Live goes into full denial mode.
Oh, no.
He's like, Amy's making it all up. I'm not scared of anyone. These panic buttons, they're just a joke.
A joke? Come on.
Right.
Nobody's buying that.
And that's the thing about the internet. Once that narrative takes hold, it's almost impossible to change it. People have already made up their minds. Plus, Amy was very specific with her description of the buttons, where they were, why he had them.
Oh, yeah. What does she say?
She even said he had one, right by the fridge, because he'd always go for a snack when he was stressed.
Oh, no. That's too good.
And another one in the bathroom, quote, in case he got cornered while taking a dump.
Okay, that's amazing. The internet really is undefeated when it comes to, sniffing out a good story. But, okay, seriously, did this whole panic button thing ruin his career? Is that it for him?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But that's where things get even weirder. Instead of fading away, this whole thing, this panic button disaster, it kind of breathed new life into his channel.
Wait, what do you mean? People kept watching even after he was, exposed as a fraud?
They didn't just keep watching. His viewership grew. It's this whole panic button thing, it made him more relevant somehow, more relatable even.
So it wasn't about the tough guy act anymore. People were tuning in for the train wreck, the sheer absurdity of it all.
Exactly.
Wow.
And here's the thing. Other YouTubers saw what was happening and they jumped on the bandwagon as they did.
Oh, I bet they did. What did they do?
Parody videos, skits. There were even full-blown songs about the whole Panic Button Man saga.
No way.
One creator even had this whole series where he pretended to be Hedgehog Man Live, just frantically hitting panic buttons every time he got a mean comment.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Which, let's be real, was pretty often.
Right, exactly. So it's this whole thing became a cultural moment. Everyone was in on the joke. And this is where I think Amy's role in all of this gets even more interesting. Remember how she was the one who kind of kicked this whole thing off by, you know, spilling the tea on her YouTube channel? What
Yeah.
happened with that?
Oh,
Did she get caught in the crossfire?
no, not at all. In fact, she became a bit of an internet celebrity herself.
Get out.
Yeah, her video about Hedgehog Man Live's panic buttons, it went viral, like millions and millions of views.
Wow.
But she was smart about it. Instead of just letting the moment pass, she used it to launch her own YouTube channel.
Wow. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. What's her channel about? Is it just like all Hedgehog Man Live all the time?
She calls it, get this, Exposing Hedgehog Man Live.
Oh my gosh.
And it's actually become incredibly popular.
No.
Yeah, she shares these like behind-the-scenes stories, makes fun of his insecurities, really leans into the whole panic button persona.
That is amazing.
She really understands internet culture. Give her that.
She knows how to seize an opportunity, that's for sure. But what about Hedgehog Man Live? Did he just like sit back and take it? Or did he eventually try to, fight back? So did he ever try to fight back?
Oh, he did more than fight back. He leaned into it.
Get out.
Yeah. Like at first, I think he was trying to salvage that tough guy image.
Right.
But it was like pointless. The internet had already made up its mind.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He embraces the meme.
No way. He like went full panic button.
Full panic button. He starts selling merchandise with this big red panic button on it.
Stop it.
His catchphrase becomes panic mode activated.
Uh,
And get this, he even installs this giant, like, working panic button on his live stream setup.
You're kidding. So he took this thing that everyone was making fun of him for and he like made it part of his brand.
Exactly. He understood that the key to, like, survival online, especially in that world, is adaptability. You got to be willing to evolve, to roll with the punches,
Yeah.
even when they come in the form of, like, 1,000 button emojis spamming your chat.
That's incredible. This whole story is wild. Like, it really shows you the power of internet fame, but also how unpredictable it is,
Oh, absolutely.
What's the word? Mercurial.
Totally. One minute you're building an empire on this carefully constructed persona. The next you're, like, the laughingstock of the internet.
Right.
It's a high-stakes game.
It really is.
And authenticity, or at least the appearance of it, can make or break you.
And you know what's so interesting is that like Hedgehog Man Live's story isn't even that unique, right? I mean, we see the same thing happen again and again with YouTubers, influencers, really anyone who's building a platform online these days.
Like this weird phenomenon of the digital age.
Yeah.
The internet has this incredible ability to both build up and completely tear down anyone who, like, dares to seek attention in its, vast landscape.
It's true.
It's a double-edged sword, that's for sure.
So where does that leave us? What's the takeaway for those of us who, maybe aren't aspiring internet celebrities, but are still like trying to figure out how to exist in this crazy online world?
Well, I think what Hedgehog Man Live's story really shows us is that the internet is constantly changing. And, like, the people who can't adapt, who are too attached to a certain image of themselves, they're the ones who get left behind.
Yeah.
The ability to, like, laugh at yourself, to embrace the unexpected.
Yeah.
And to just, like, connect with people authentically. Even when those connections are, forged in the fires of internet memes,
Yeah.
that's the key
I love that.
to not just surviving, but actually thriving in the digital age.
That's such a good point. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Hedgehog Man Live, panic buttons, and the wild, wild west of internet fame. It's a story that's equal parts cautionary tale, comedy of errors, and a testament to the power of, reinvention. Remember, folks, the internet never forgets, but it also has a funny way of forgiving, especially if you're willing to laugh along with it. Until next time, happy surfing.